Electrical panel.
Okay, here we at your 12 volt DC panel. So you have some other panel here, which we're going to go through in a little bit, but I can tell you what they are. One is your generator startup panel, the other one is your water maker panel, and the other one is a digital multi-control, which means you can select from battery charger to inverter. So what we're going to start with the 12 volt DC panel. The DC panel get power from your battery bank. So since we're at your battery bank, we talk a little bit about your battery. The battery that you have on board, you have engine battery and a service battery bank for the DC panel. You're gonna have to maintain the voltage in your battery by running both engine for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening at 1500 RPM. Or if you have your generator on, running all night so that you can get air condition, you make sure that your battery charge is on, so it's charging up the battery. Also in a little bit you'll see a voltage readout for the battery, so you'll know the voltage of your batteries. So we're going to go back to your 12 volt DC panel. The panel is very straightforward. Whatever you need, you put them in. Where you don't need, you turn it off, so you can save battery power. So you have here, you have a anchor light, which is here. Have navigation light, engine light, and a deck light. Those are like your, most of it is your night lights. Electronics, your display is outside. We're going to get to that in a little bit. Salt water pump is the backup pump. Also, this is a spare breaker. I'm just going to turn the electronics off for now. Over on your starboard side of the little panel here, you have a port lighting, starboard lighting for the whole boat, and you have individual switches to turn lights on and off. Here you have a freshwater pump. The freshwater pump is a self-priming pump. As the priming system, it shut itself off. This boat have 2 freshwater pumps, so you can use one pump at a time. So if for some reason one pump fail on you, you can switch to the other pump. We're going to show you a little bit of that. It's in the port engine room. Freshwater pump should be off when you're not using it. Why? In case if someone leave a faucet open, the pump will pump the whole tank and leak it out. Here you have refrigerator. The refrigerator or the refrigeration system that you have on board, you have refrigerator inside of the boat, you have a freezer, and you have a fridge in the cockpit. They are all 12 volts. Turn them on, leave it on forever. If the battery get low, it will shut itself off. As you charge your batteries up, it come on back automatically. This other one here is for the freezer. We're going to turn them off now. Available, this is a spare breaker, and this other one is Wi-Fi. Here is the belch pump. The belch pump that you have on board, you have belch pump in the engine room, and you have belch pump on the hull. So if you look here, you'll see these. It says starboard hull, port hull, starboard hull, port hull. So these are on, and these switches are manual override. So right now it's on the automatic. If for some reason water comes in to your boat, it will pump it out automatically. This is completely off. So turn them on, leave them on, so it's automatic. If you have to manually override, you press this switch and hold, and that will pump water out from it. So the starboard hull, port hull, starboard engine, port engine. Over to the right here, you have underwater light switches. You have a port underwater light and starboard underwater light. Just turn them on and off. Here you have generator starter panel, water maker, and the multi-digital control. To start your generator, before you start your generator, you have to make sure you have no shore power coming into the boat, because what you have here, you have an automatic transfer switch from shore power to generator, or generator to shore power. You don't want to have shore power on. Why? In case if you start your generator up and you have shore power coming in, you can burn the automatic transfer switch, because it will not see to transfer. So please remember, if the generator is on, do not plug it into shore power, or if your boat is plugged into shore power, do not start your generator. Like now it's telling me here my generator is off, and as you can see the light up here is telling me that I have shore power coming into the boat. So now I want to start my generator up. I have to go and turn shore power off, or it will be the other way around. If the generator was running, this will light up. Do not plug it into shore power. So now I'm going to go and turn it off. So here you can see I have no shore power. So now I want to start my generator. I press start and hold. It will preheat, program, and it will start. Generator started up. In a little bit I'll see my voltage. It'll show me that I have a steady AC volts coming in. Yep. Here, my mains are on, my battery charger is on. It's charging up my battery, and my air condition start coming on. I want to turn my generator off. I just press stop. Everything comes off. Now I want to go back to shore power. I just go up there and plug my shore power cable back in, which I'm going to do that now. So now I plugged into shore power. I got power coming into my digital multi-control panel here. My air condition start coming on. My battery charge is on and it's charging up my battery. Also, what's a very good thing on this boat, you have solar panel which will help charge your batteries up during the day. So again, you have a lot of way to charge your batteries up here. You can charge your batteries up with a solar panel, run your engine, or start your generator up and turn your battery charger on. So that's it for the panel here. Now you also have an inverter. If for some reason you want to use the AC outlet and your generator is not giving no AC outlet power, something maybe went wrong with your generator. By doing so, you start your generator up, start your engine up, put it at 1500 RPM, and you move this little switch here over to the on position. What that will do for you is to take 12 volt, make 110 volts. So that's only if your generator failed on you. So that's it for the electrical side of it for now. Also, here is your water maker. To use the water maker, it's very easy and straightforward. This is the power button here. It's on and off. You press the green, hold, it comes on, and it will do what it has to do. After your tank is full, you come here and you press your red button, and that will turn it off. That's all you have to do. The blue button is for you to flush it. You don't have to flush it. We will do that here. Okay? Okay, here you have a Garmin chart plotter, also the Fusion player, a readout of the voltage of your house battery bank, and your VHF. The Fusion player is a Bluetooth. Now it's on an FM station. Volume, or you could select whichever zone you want it to select. Turn it on. All will be highlight. Whichever one you want, you select or you move. So you can do different volume, and you can set what you want it on. Here you have a arrow that would give you an FM. That's your source. FM, auxiliary, You have your auxiliary input to the left over here. Also, you can play a DVD in here, or music. Bluetooth. To use the Bluetooth, you select Bluetooth, and it will say select device. You go back to the FM radio station, and you can get some music here. With the chart plotter here, you have another one outside. Here you have a different readout to the side, or it's touch screen. So if you want to see the voltage of your battery, you press where the battery is. It will show you the main battery bank, 13.3, pretty much close to what this one is reading here. And this is your starboard engine battery. If you go back home, you can go for fuel. It will show you the fuel that you have and how much water you have. You can go to the vessel, and it shows everything here. You can do different pages here. So it will show the position of your boat, wind speed, depth. Whatever depth they show, you're going to add 2 feet to it, and that's your true depth, because your transducer is 2 feet below the water line. Here, I go again. I go back to home. Sorry, I can go to chart, and that's going to show exactly where the boat is. You have another chart plot outside, which we're going to go a little bit more upstairs with that. Also, it show exactly where your boat is in the marina here. Right here. VHF. To turn it on, you press the power button. It comes on. Sometimes when it comes on, it keeps beeping on you, tell you need an MMSI number. All you have to do is to press the clear. It will go away. You move the channel up to channel 16. Everyone monitor on channel 16. And they tell you which channels to switch to. To speak, you press. To listen, you release. That's it for your chart plotter here. Your chart table. There's a little bit of stuff in here. You have your VHF for the outside. You have a remote in here for your transom, to get your transom up and down. Also, there's another remote by a 12-volt panel. Some miscellaneous stuff in here. Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is right here. There's a little plug. You plug it in. It comes on. Let me break it down below here. To reset it is very easy. You do a hard reset, like a factory reset. Pull the plug out, put it on back. That's how you reset it. So here we are looking at the remote control for your air condition. So right now it's in the off position. It's showing you the temperature of the boat, inside of the boat now. So you have a mode button. So it's like a touch screen. So if I touch the mode button, it comes up and keep going through. Now it's off. So what I want to do is to touch the snowflakes. It will turn it on. I can set my temperature. Also, this is my fan. I can set it on automatic, or I can do manual if I want. One, two, three, 4, 5. Or I could just go to automatic by pressing and hold. Yeah. So your temperature that you're gonna really need, 65, 66. That's a cool temperature. All you need to set it, the mode that you really need is the snowflakes mode. And to turn it off, press it here and hold. It will turn itself off. Off. To turn the fan off is the same. Press and hold it here. Off. To turn it on, just press here to the snowflakes that you need. and it comes on.
Checking the bilge.
Here is your bilge pump. The bilge pump is located obviously in the bilge, but under the floorboard, just in front of the aft bed. Same on the other side. So we are here on the port side, you have the same on your starboard side. That's the automatic bilge pump. So if water comes into your boat, it would automatically pump it up. If for some reason it's not working automatic, you manually override with the switch and pump it out. For me to check it to see if it's working, there's a thumb switch on it, like a thumb button here. If I press it and hold, the pump will come on and run and shut itself off. Why it turns itself off so fast? Because it sends no water. Once it sends water, it will continue pumping. Each hull have two pumps together. Also, you have one in your engine room.
Lighting the stove.
Okay, here we're going to show you how to light your stove. The stove on this boat do not have an electric solenoid. So you have two valves. The valve is located under the sink. You can turn them in line for propane to flow across itself. Also, we highly recommend that you go to the propane tank and turn it off when you're not using the stove, because you don't have an electric solenoid. Some boats do have electric solenoid, so it's an option if you have it or not. This one don't have it. To light your stove, you light the match first. After the match is lighted, push the burner knob down that you're lighting. Down, turn, keep holding it down. It's light up. And then you release. You have to hold it down for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna go light the big burner now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Voila. And the stove is working. To turn it off, you just turn it off. When you finish at the stove, you go to the valve, turn the valve off. Also, you could go straight to the propane tank and turn the tank off, and that way you have no propane coming through the system. Now we're gonna light the oven for you. Okay, here we're gonna show you how to light your oven. To light the oven, open the door, push your knob here, and turn if you're gonna use the broiler or the oven. So I'm gonna do the broiler. Push that and turn. Once it lights, you hold it in a couple seconds so the thermocouple can stay heat and the broiler is working. Now you can turn it off. If you want to use the oven part, it's the same thing. Hold it on a couple of seconds. Thermocouple heats up. There you go. Finish cooking. Turn it off. Okay, here we have your propane tank locker. Early on when we light the stove, we ask you to turn the propane tank off at night. So here, you turn it off. Ready to cook again, you turn it on. So you have two propane tank in here. And this tank empty in you, you're gonna have a wrench in here that you take it out from here and connect it onto over here. Remember, propane is left-hand thread. Left is tighten, right is loosen. So it's the opposite of a normal thread. So that's your propane tank.
Flushing the heads.
So this switch is here, it's for your toilet. The toilet that you have is electric. Also it uses fresh water. So careful how you're using it. If it's brown, you let it down. If it's yellow, you let it mellow. If you look here, this is empty bowl. That's to empty the bowl, and this to bring water in. Again, you have to remember, it's fresh water. Bringing water in, empty bowl. Please do not put no paper down the head, no tampon, no baby wipe. If you don't eat it, you don't put it in.
Starting the engine.
Okay, here we're going to show you how to start your engine. So before you start your engine, you want to make sure it's in neutral. These are your gear shifting unit here. Neutral is straight up or in line with N. It says reverse, it says forward. Don't be a Dale Jr. and start your engine up when it's in gear. Here is an ignition. You press on, ignition comes on, start. Same goes for your starboard. Ignition, start. Now before you do anything else now, you need to listen or check for water come through your exhaust. That's your raw water cooling. So I'm gonna check it for you here. Yeah, I can see water on your starboard side. I can hear water on the port side. So now, if I have to run my engine to charge my batteries, I'm gonna have to disengage the transmission and bring the revolution up. By doing so, you pull the gear shifter them out and put it in a reverse position or forward position. It doesn't really matter. And you bring your RPM up to 1500 RPM. That's how you charge. Again, with the lever out, you disengage the transmission, so you're just getting the revolution. If I bring it back to neutral, the lever goes back in. Now I can go forward, or neutral, or reverse. To stop your engine, you press stop. Once the engine stops, you remember to turn your ignition off. And there you go.
Navigation instruments.
Okay, here is your chart plotter. It's the same chart plotter that you have on your chart table. Again, you can do chart. It comes up to your chart. If I press on the chart that I need, and I zoom it in, it'll show me where my boat is. You can go back to home, and you can find here combo. You can do a smart sail, anchoring, sailing. You can find the page with all the gauges. Again, battery here. Go back. You can find the page with fuel and water. Up here, the page that you're really gonna need is the chart with your chart. Okay, so here we have 3 of the Garmin display readout. To the left, you have your speed. It's showing you 0 because we're not moving. The depth is 13.1. You can find different pages by pressing the arrow. You can get your speed, you can get a wind, where it's coming from, compass heading, the autopilot, position of your boat. So this one you can keep it on speed and depth. Over here, it's going to show where the wind is coming from, how fast it's blowing, right or wrong. The one to the far right is your autopilot. If you move it around, it have a rudder indicator to the bottom of it, going to show exactly. If you move the wheel around, it will show you straight ahead. That's your rudder indicator. As you can see now, we start changing colors. Goes to the port, go red, go green. To use an autopilot, it's very straightforward. You point your boat straight where you're going, and you hit engage, which is here. You engage it, so the wheel is locked into the position. You want to bring it over, plus 10, plus 2, or you can minus 10 over here. As you can see, this rudder indicator going to come back in a little bit. Bring it back a little more. It's near limit, rather near limit, because I pressed too much on that side. I'm bringing it back. You can see it's moving back to 95. If you don't need to use the autopilot, hit the standby so you can steer manually. Okay, that's for your navigation instruments.
Rigging and winches.
Okay, here you have your winches. You have a winch here for your main sheet and your traveler lines, which is over here. So you got your main sheet and your 2 traveler and your port jib sheet. It's have its independent jammers for each one of them. Here is your starboard jib sheet. You have a jammer here for it and a winch. Over here, this is your electric winch. This is where you're going to use to pull the mainsail up. You look here, you have your main halyard, also you have a first reef, second reef, and a third reef. Whenever you're using the electric winch to pull your mainsail up, you're gonna wrap the line around your winch. This is the strength of the winch, not here. Okay, don't do it like this, because you're gonna break here and then I have to charge you. Pull the winch up. It's a self-tailor winch. Make sure it's snug in like this. Put the leading edge here and press on the button. It will bring the sail up. To get it down, release the jammer, take it off here. You can do it like this slowly and the sail will come down. But the weight of the sail will take pressure on this side. Now you have an electric winch. If it really jam itself up, like you bring the sail all the way up, it will trip. You have a breaker down below that says winch breaker. Also, the guests do confuse themselves with the winch and the windlass breaker. So when we go to the breakers, then we're going to show you which is the separate one. The mainsail have an easy hook system, which we're going to show you in a little bit. Make sure that you have the easy hook hooked in place before you carry the mainsail up, because if you don't hook it in properly, the mainsail will go up but it will not come down. So in a little bit we're going to move to the mainsail and we're going to show you how to set it in.
Operating the mainsail.
Okay, here we're going to show you how to pull the mainsail up. You have an easy hook system. If you don't get it right, then it doesn't be easy anymore. So you have the hook and the easy part. If the easy part stays here, the sail will go up but it will not come down. The easy has to be in the hook here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you're going to pull it in. You have to go slow with it. When you get it about here, you get a little bit aggressive with the main halyard and pull it down so the hook can go in here. Let me do it. Okay, I'm pulling on my main halyard. Look at it. Okay, when I have it on that part here, this is where I'm going to really pull hard to get it in. See how we hang in there now? So now, my sail going to go up. Once I have my bow straight into the wind, if I release, you're going to come down back. Now I can pull it on really easy. But I have to have my boat straight into the wind. See the easy hook? It's in place. The last part of it like that, you're going to have to help it. It's a little bit stiff here because I'm not straight into the wind. So it's a little bit difficult to get it on. The last part you can do this and help it up. Okay? Easier that way. Also, you have for your mainsail, you have two reef lines, you have an out haul that pull the sail backwards, the sail is already back. So you have a first reef and a second and a third reef. The reefs are connected here. In this case, this is your first reef. You have another one. So on the other side is your second and your third reef. If you look at it, it goes back. Main halyard, the grey one. The Genoa or your jib is already up, so you don't have to mess with it. Top and lift, it's already secure. The lines that you really need to play with for your mainsail, it's just the main halyard and your main sheet. If the wind is really heavy, well then you have to put the reef in. Your head sail. The head sail is very straightforward. Whenever you're pulling your head sail in and out, point your boat straight into the wind, release your drum roll or furling line, and pull on your jib sheets. To bring it in, you do the opposite. If the wind were really heavy, you can reef it by pull part of it in or part of it out. So.
Electric windlass.
Okay, here you have your windlass and you have your windlass remote. Whenever you're using the windlass, your engine must be running. So now I have the engine is running. To press, to let it down, press down. And it goes down. It's okay. We're gonna let it down all the way. So here you have a yellow line comes up, which is your first yellow line. It's marked at every 25 feet. Here you have 150 feet of chain, 50 feet of rope on it. Whenever you're anchoring, you should at least be in 20 feet of water. Then you drop your anchor. You can do a 5-to-1 scoop. So the fourth yellow mark that comes up, it means that's your 100 feet of chain overboard. So that's your 5-to-1 scoop. To bring it up, you press up. Whenever you bring it up, also you can put your boat slowly and forward, so the windlass is just picking the slack above the chain. Now the chain tends to pile itself up like a mountain underneath the platform here. Now and then you have to look. If for some reason it builds itself up too high, you just come in here. Just clear it out a little bit and bring it up again. The last part of it will go very slow so that you can get your anchor snug in. Also you have a snubber here which you can hook it on onto the chain and use as a shock absorber for overnight anchorage. Also the mooring buoy that you're going to pick up, you're going to have two special line in here. That's for you to use for the mooring buoy. Here also you have a secondary anchor. The secondary anchor you will have the reverse, 50 feet of chain and 150 feet of rope. Anyone use a second anchor. If you're going to use your stern anchor, the second anchor for your stern anchor, it means the other boat next to you have the stern anchor out. Again, if your windlass suddenly stops working on you when you are using it, there's a windlass breaker in the engine room, which we're going to show you how to reset it. That's pretty much all in here. You can store your fenders and line also in here.
Engine overview.
Okay, here you have your starboard engine. We want to show you how to stop your engine, how to bring the RPM up. So if for some reason you press stop and the engine doesn't stop on you, you have a manual fuel shut off here. It says stop on it. You can come here and push it backwards, engine will stop. Over here you have your throttle or your accelerator cable connected here. If you put your boat in forward or reverse and your RPM is not coming up, maybe there's something went wrong with your shifting with your throttle cable, you can come here and push this lever backwards and you're gonna get RPM. So if I do this, that's RPM for you. It will move more if the cable break. Also to the back of the transmission there's a cable. There's the cable here and there's the shifter right here. That's only for emergency.
Battery switches and windlass breaker.
Okay, what we are looking at here, we are looking at all the breakers. The breakers are located in your starboard engine room. What you have here, you have all the 110 volts breaker. So if for some reason one of the air conditioners is not working or when AC outlet is not working, you'll come here and see that one of these breakers in the down position. If you look here right now, you'll see the water heater breaker is in the down position. We did turn it off because you can get hot water when you're running your engine. If you want, you can turn it on back and you'll get hot water. All these breakers here should literally be in the on position. Now we also want to show you a breaker on your generator in case for some reason your generator is running and you come down here and you see all these breakers in the on position and you're getting no power. There's a overload breaker on your generator to the back here. Can you see my finger?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it's more to the back here. The breaker should be facing you in the on position. If the breaker facing backwards, it means it's in the off position. That's all the breakers, which is the 110 volt breaker, or all the AC breakers in the starboard engine room. Okay, here is the DC battery switches. Windlass breaker, surface breaker, coupler switch. So now you can see this key is in the on position. That's your surface battery bank, which is a domestic battery bank. Here you have your engine one. Also you have a coupler switch here. So these two switches should be in the on position. You have a spare key. If for some reason your port engine is running and your starboard engine would not start, or the other way around, you line this key up here, turn this on, so you couple the engine batteries together so you can start your engine. When you finish, turn it off back. So in that way, you don't couple all the batteries and leave them, and if you have a bad battery bank, it will just run all the battery down. So you don't want to do that. Windlass breaker. Windlass mean anchor, chain, windlass. If you're bringing your anchor chain up or down and it suddenly stopped working on you, it means that this little lever here drop down. It's a little bit difficult to see it from the sunlight comes straight into here because it's black. To reset it, slide it back. So I'm gonna do it one more time. This is to trip it, but if it's windlass is not working, when you come here you would not have to trip it, it would already been tripped. So that's trip, that's reset. It's another one here for your service battery. Service battery bank breaker. To the far corner here, you have another one that says Lumar. This is the electric winch breaker. So if you were using the electric winch to pull your mainsail up and it suddenly stopped working on you, I mean this one have a yellow lever which is easier. That means it's trip, to reset it back, slide it up. So I'm gonna trip it one more time. The little yellow lever will be down, slide it up back, it'll be like 8:45. That's in the on position. Same thing here, straight, straight. If for some reason you come here, you can't see this one, since we come back to the windlass breaker. If you put your finger here and slide it, you will see it will not move. So slide it up back. See? Trip, reset. Okay, also you have another breaker here, which is a 200 amp breaker, which is for your hydraulic platform. If you're bringing the platform up or down, and for suddenly it stopped working on you, that's trip, that's in the off position, that's on. Also you have a handle here to manually bring it up. It will not manually let it down, it will only manually bring it up. You have a remote to bring it up and down. Okay, so here we are looking at a switch that you have to turn your freshwater pump on. The freshwater pump that you have on board, you have two freshwater pumps. Remember on the 12 volt panel, the DC panel, I told you you have a breaker there to turn your freshwater pump on. And also I said there's two freshwater pumps. But you can only use one at a time. So if you look at the switch now, it's pointing to number 2, which means you have it set to the lower pump, number 2 pump. And there's another valve all the way down with a red handle. Yep. If you see here, it says pump 2 and the red handle is pointing to pump 2. If for some reason pump 2 is not working on you, you're gonna switch to pump 1 on to the switch on top. Push the toggle switch to the top, so you're gonna turn pump 1 on, and then you come back to the red valve and move the red valve to pump 1. So it's just a two-way select valve. So if the handle now can move, Cassie's gonna move the handle for you. Yep. Put it straight. So the handle moves to the other position so that you select pump 1. Okay, so we're gonna put it back to pump 2. Yep. So you have an option here in case one pump fails, you have a backup pump. That's how you select pump 1, pump 2 to pump 1.
Manual bilge pump.
Okay, here we are looking at your manual bilge pump. Before we show you where all your electric bilge pump and manual override switch, but here you have a manual pump. You get it out by pulling this out here. And this is the gusher pump. But you have a hose in here, under this locker here, that you have to take the hose out, put it where you're gonna pump, select where the water is to pump it out, to suck, and you pump. The slower you pump is better because it's like a gusher pump. Okay, when you finish, bring back the hose, put it in here, close it up. That's only a manual emergency belch pump. If you have to use that pump, that means you need help. Okay guys, my name is Anthony. You're gonna have my telephone number during the trip. So if you have any question or any problem with the boat, you could call me on 541-0336. It's only for business.
Thank you so much for watching. Anthony will be available when you get here to answer any further questions that you have. And if you have any questions while you're out on the water, he is available for you 24 hours a day in case of emergency. And his number again is 1-284-541-0336. Have a great trip.